Hello, my name is Mr. Majid, and for those of you who don't already know me, I'm the teacher that delivers the A-level law program here at Washwood Heath Academy. I've been doing this for a total of 8 years. I've been teaching A-level and BTEC law at Washwood Heath for around about 4 years now. And within that time, I've been very fortunate to share some fantastic results and success stories with the students of Washwood Heath Academy. Now, we use OCR as the exam board, and we use this exam board for a couple of reasons. One of them is because it ties in nicely with other subjects within the A-level program at Washwood Heath, for example, sociology. And another reason is because students generally tend to respond a little bit better to this program over others that we've used in the past. Over the 2 years, you're expected to complete 3 units or components. The first one being the legal system and criminal law. The second one, lawmaking and the law of tort. The third one, the nature of law and the law of contract. Now, with every other A-level or BTEC that you come to Washwood Heath to study, you will definitely be tested regularly throughout the course so that the teacher can ascertain what sort of level that you're working at and set your targets going forward. This way, you have a tailored approach to your learning, and teachers ensure that progress is being made at any given time over any particular topic or unit. I want to talk a little bit more about the components that you're going to be studying. So component 1, this is the one that we begin with. It sets the foundation for the course. It's known as the legal system and criminal law. What you learn in this, we start off by looking at the courts, the hierarchy of the courts, which courts are higher than the others, what sort of jurisdictions that the courts have. We then move on to people who work within the courts. So people like judges, magistrates, juries, clerks, solicitors, barristers. Once we look at legal personnel, then we look at the qualifications of legal personnel. So if you do want to be a solicitor or a barrister going forward, what types of qualifications do you need? What type of training is out there for you to work towards that goal? This is something that we cover. Once we've laid that foundation of knowledge, then we move into criminal law. This is the one that students enjoy the most, I would say. When we look at criminal law, we look at the law of murder. What are the elements required for someone to commit murder and be charged with the offense of murder? We look at theft. We look at GBH, ABH. We look at trespass. And we constantly do case scenarios so that the students can solidify their knowledge and they are at the same time preparing for their exams. The second component then, or unit 2, is known as lawmaking and the law of tort. This type of law moves away from criminal law and it starts to look at civil law in a little bit more detail. So what happens when somebody is negligent? How do you make a claim? Who is responsible? How do neighbors resolve their disputes? What are public nuisances? How is it that laws are actually made? What does Parliament do? What are the stages that must be followed? And what is the duty that we owe one another as citizens of the UK? All of these things are definitely covered within Unit 2. Outside of the academic study itself, what we have embedded in our program are things like debates, question and answer sessions here. This also doesn't just solidify the students' knowledge, but it also gives them those employability skills that they're going to need in university so that they can carry on with whatever course that you guys decide to do. The third and final component that you do, and this would be in the first term of second year, is the nature of law or the law of contract. Now, usually we go for the nature of law because of the way students respond, but I'm not saying that this cannot change depending on what your skill set will be at that time. When we look at the nature of law, we look at the relationship between law and morality. What does it mean? We also look at law and justice. We look at society and legal rules. How does society actually respond to rules? And we look at human rights. So if we look at the total ratings of all 3 papers, they are as follows. Each paper that you do in the second year of your program will be 2 hours long each, and they all equate to 33 and 1/3% each. Okay, each paper is divided into two. You have a section A and a section B. Section A is always 25 marks and section B is always 75 marks, leaving a total of 100 marks per paper, so 300 marks in total. Now, what does the A-level law program that OCR provides us with? What does it encourage learners to become, or what does it encourage learners to develop over time? Firstly, your skill and your knowledge and understanding of the English legal system, whether that be the private or the public sector, will become better. Secondly, you'll be able to develop an understanding of legal methods and reasoning used by lawyers and the judiciary. So, what type of reasoning do people like solicitors and barristers and judges use in order to come to decisions that they make? You'll also be able to develop and apply the techniques of legal method and reasoning to analyze and offer answers to problems. Now, this is where your case scenario questions come in, where you're given a scenario whereby somebody has done something wrong, some sort of criminal activity, whether that be murder, manslaughter, or theft, and then it is your job as the student to break that scenario down, investigate the facts of the case, and offer a reasoned conclusion of what the outcome should ought to be. Again, very interesting. You will also be able to construct conclusions and communicate legal arguments by reference and appropriate legal authorities. This is where the debating will come into it, where on my program we have regular debates between different sides and different parties depending on opinions, and we come to logical communication, logical conclusions rather. You'll also be able to develop the ability to communicate persuasive legal arguments by reference to appropriate legal authorities. And finally, you'll be able to demonstrate critical awareness of the influence and operation of the law in society. And that is more towards the end of study. Why study law? Well, one of the main reasons is ever since I've been at Washwood Academy on the A-level law program, I've always had 100% success rate, meaning every single one of my students has passed the course. If you want any more details on what the program entails, if you would like further information, whether it be a book to read on the subject itself so that you can make that decision, then please do get in contact with me. My email is ymajid@washwood.academy. And for the students, you guys all know where you can find me, and if you do get in touch with me, then I can explain a little bit further with regards to what the course entails. So I hope you do pick the course. If you have the grades, then please do pick the course, because I feel that this course will definitely give you the skill set that you need at university level if you are choosing to go to university in order to be successful there. Thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.